The Cloudflare Edge Cache is still storing your request data right now, and the ICO can't stop it. Every site you visit that runs behind Cloudflare's network logs a persistent identifier tied to your IP, your headers, your timing data. The UK's own data watchdog issued formal guidance. Cloudflare acknowledged it, and the cache is still running. Cloudflare is not a website. It is the infrastructure the internet runs on. 4 million websites, 30% of global web traffic. When you open a browser and navigate anywhere, a news site, a bank, a government portal, there is a near 1 in 3 chance your request passes through a Cloudflare edge server before it reaches the destination. That is what Cloudflare sells: speed, protection, routing. They sit between you and the site. Officially, the edge cache exists to reduce latency. Store a copy of the page closer to you, serve it faster. That is the pitch. That is what goes in the press release. What doesn't go in the press release is what else the cache retains. Here is what the edge cache actually collects. Every HTTP request that passes through a Cloudflare server generates a log entry. Inside that entry, your originating IP address, the full URL you requested, including query strings that can contain search terms, session tokens, and authentication parameters, the timestamp to the millisecond, the user agent string that fingerprints your device and browser version, and something Cloudflare calls the Ray ID. The Ray ID is a persistent identifier. It does not expire when your session ends. It does not rotate when you clear your cookies. It is a unique tag attached to your request that links every interaction you have with every Cloudflare-protected site back to a single device fingerprint. That log entry is not stored in one place. It is replicated across Cloudflare's edge network, 310 cities, 100 countries. When you visit a site, your data is written to the nearest server, and the nearest server is rarely in your country, and it is still there. In 2022, the ICO published formal technical guidance on CDN data retention. The guidance was specific. If a CDN operator processes personal data on behalf of a UK data controller, that operator must honor deletion requests, must publish data retention schedules, and must be able to demonstrate that cached logs containing personal data are purged in accordance with GDPR's right to erasure. The ICO sent the guidance. Cloudflare read the guidance. Cloudflare updated its data processing addendum with language about configurable log retention. The ICO acknowledged the update. And here is the part nobody reported. The ICO has never audited a single Cloudflare edge node. Not one. The agency that wrote the rules does not have physical or legal access to verify compliance, and Cloudflare knows it. This is the mechanism that makes it unstoppable. Cloudflare is a US company headquartered in San Francisco. Its edge servers are distributed globally under infrastructure agreements with local data centers, but Cloudflare itself does not operate a legal entity in the United Kingdom. Under GDPR and the UK's post-Brexit data protection framework, the ICO has enforcement jurisdiction over entities established in the UK or entities that specifically target UK users and process their data. Cloudflare argues it does neither. It processes data in transit. The edge cache, Cloudflare's legal team contends, is a technical intermediary function, not a data controller, not a data processor in the traditional sense. Just routing, just latency optimization. The Ray ID in the log, a technical artifact. The IP address retained for 48 hours post-session. Standard network telemetry. The ICO's own enforcement framework requires it to identify a named data controller before it can compel deletion. Cloudflare's architecture is specifically designed so there isn't one. The site owner who contracted with Cloudflare is technically the controller, but the site owner doesn't control the edge cache. Cloudflare does, and Cloudflare is outside the ICO's reach. The regulator is left chasing a jurisdiction that doesn't exist. Meanwhile, 310 edge nodes are logging, right now, and it's still running. What this means for your data is specific. If you have visited any website in the last 48 hours that uses Cloudflare, and statistically, you have your IP address, your device fingerprint, and the full URL of every request you made is sitting in a log on an edge server you cannot locate. cannot request access to, and cannot compel to delete. Your right to erasure under UK GDPR is a legal right with no technical enforcement path. You can submit a subject access request to the site you visited. That site owner can forward it to Cloudflare. Cloudflare can respond that the logs are operational data governed by its own internal retention schedule, and the clock keeps running. The data exists, the right exists, the mechanism to connect them does not. This is the callback to everything you just heard. The system Cloudflare built is not a bug in the privacy framework. It is load-bearing infrastructure for 30% of the web. So here is what nobody will answer. If the ICO cannot audit the edge cache, and the edge cache cannot be compelled to delete, and the jurisdiction question has no clean resolution, who exactly is benefiting from that ambiguity remaining unresolved? Cloudflare's valuation is built on processing your requests. The data in those logs has operational value, and the regulator that is supposed to protect you already lost. So who's still winning?